Boom. We are live. Back at it. Got my man Dan Perry in the house co-hosting with me.
Hey, first time on the OG.
Is it really?
Yeah, I've never done it before.
Seriously?
You've never invited me, Brian.
Oh, damn. Now I feel like it. You know what? You know?
Should.
Oh, man. I thought you've been on before. I guess I'm wrong. My bad. I mean, you've been on plenty of the other segments and shows and all that good stuff. But tonight, man, we got a cool show, dude. We got the boys from One Objective in the house.
How you
We're going
doing?
to talk a little bit about their show, their products. I mean, these guys, what aren't these gentlemen doing? I mean,
they do a lot. I was a fan, and that's how this all started out. So thank y'all for being on the show.
You won a rod or something recently on their show, right?
Rods is a sponsor, and on their Christmas show, they were doing giveaways, and I won a frog rod. And
nice.
I mean, it's like not just like, you know, the lower end, the Christie. I mean, and the Buku. Those are nice rods, but it was an expert. I mean, it's like a legit rod, you know.
Nice,
super nice. So shout out to Falcon, great rods.
Thank you.
Quick shout out, man, before we get in with our guest. We got Jimmy Skinner in the house, newest host on Paddle and Fin, teamed up with Dan Perry on the Reel Down.
Yep.
We got my man Midwest Fishing and Outdoors tuning in. He said he heard the Fox Lake tournament this past weekend was a pain. Yeah, dude, I couldn't feel my left hand for like the first 2 hours of the tournament. It was like 29 degrees when we launched. And it slowly warmed up, and I slowly regained feeling in my left hand. So that was interesting. But that was my first live event of the season, man. I think we had like 39 guys, something like that. I took 8th place. I went up there. It was a last minute type deal. So, yeah, it was good, man. Walton Doyle in the house saying, "What's up, Paddle and Fin and One Objective?"
Hey,
Walton, what's going on?
For everybody tuning in, lower left-hand corner. Come on, you guys know the drill. Share this up. Let's get this thing going, man. So we got Josh Carter, we got James Busch in the house from One Objective. Who wants to start first, Josh or James? You want to Rochambeau for who's going first on the background story, or what?
It don't matter.
little live Rochambeau? No.
Yeah.
How about James, man? James looks like he's itching. He's itching to spill the beans, man. So just give us a little background, man, for those, you know, that may not know about One Objective and who you guys are. You know, how'd you guys get into fishing in general? Because you guys, and that's one thing I wanted to touch on, and we'll talk more about later, is you guys not only focus on kayak fishing, but also the big boat world. That's kind of where you guys got your start and stuff like that. So where are you guys from? How'd you get into fishing, man?
We're from Virginia. We went to school together. We went to high school, and we met each other, I guess, was like a social studies class.
Yeah.
And we've been fishing ever since, I guess, what was it, 7th or 8th grade? I can't remember.
Great. Yeah.
wow.
Yeah. So we've been hanging out since then. So then we kind of, you know, went and get involved, and we did our own little thing, and then we got back together. And then he called me up one day when I moved down like 3.5 hours away and said, "Hey, you want to start a podcast show?" And I'm like, "I'm down. Let's do it." And that's where it all started, you know, really.
Yeah.
I like it, man. How long has One Objective been running, man?
We're 2016.
16. All right. So you got a good 2 years on us.
Yeah.
All right. We're the noobs here. So
Yeah.
I mean, we'll just sit back. You guys take over.
No.
Oh man, I dig it. So you guys, you know, just decided, hey, we love fishing so much when we're off the water. Let's figure out a way to talk about it and talk to some big names and things like that. Or
Yeah.
Josh was on another show to begin with, and then that wasn't working out the way he liked it to. So that's when he called me up, and then we started our own thing.
Yeah. I knew that the other show was on, and not knocking the show, but it just wasn't going the direction that I thought it should go. I love teaching, because I know when I get on, me and James get online and look, I want to learn something. You know what I mean? I'm not worried about tournament results, or, I mean, to an extent you are. You go look it up when you fish a tournament, but
Sure.
But I want to learn something when I'm searching stuff, and that was something that we wanted to get into, was actually teaching people techniques. And we talk bass. I mean, we'll get on the phone for 30 minutes to an hour sometimes talking bass.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why can't we just turn this into a podcast show? You know?
Yeah.
So it just kind of started like that. Our very first guest was Mike McClellan, and it was fishing. And it's yeah, and it's still one of our biggest, our top, I want to say top 5 listened shows right now is wintertime or fall. It's wintertime jerkbait fishing is what it is. So
he's a man for it.
Oh yeah,
looks like I need to go back into the archives, boys.
Oh man, the sound I don't I don't know what the sound is like. You know what I mean? Like
probably not good at all. Really.
And
we were nervous as all. We didn't have no script, no nothing. We just went off the cuff first time we ever done anything. It was
it was definitely.
I mean, I know how that goes, man. I go back once in a while and I'll listen to that first episode, man. I don't know if you guys ever do that, but you know, you listen to the first episode you ever did till present day, and you're like, who was that guy? You know what I mean? Those nerves kick in and you're like shaking, you know, and it's kind of crazy, man. And it's wild. It's been a wild ride for me. So I'm sure it's been an even wilder ride for you guys. I mean, you guys are talking to some of the biggest names in the industry. I think you guys just did something with like Kevin Van Dam, right?
Yeah. We just had him on probably about 2 or 3 shows ago.
Yeah.
Wendell, John Cruz. I mean, the absolute biggest names out there.
Yeah. And that's what we shoot for. I mean, we've been with bass, you know, we go to Bassmaster Classic and do a lot of coverage for our site. And then you kind of get in and speak with these people and they start seeing you, learning who you are, you know, with media days. And, you know, we've done a lot of on the water stuff with, you know, some of these pros, you know, for the last day of the Bassmasters Classic. You know, I mean, how many people get to ride out on the last day of the Bassmasters Classic? So you get that one-on-one time with a lot of the bigger guys that's out there, and you know, just kind of, you know, we paid out of pocket for all that, you know, and we still do for a lot of it. You know, one objective has gotten to a point now where it's sustaining itself for those trips, but you know, just getting that one-on-one time and being there and being in front of them guys all the time, you start learning who you are, and you can just kind of call them up and say, hey, or, you know, message them or email certain people and say, hey, can you get them on our show? And sometimes it works out. Some of them don't like to come on and talk. So
yeah. No, I know how that goes, man. And you always get those interviews once in a while where it's just like, it's hard, man. It's hard. You know, I mean, some people aren't the greatest talkers, but they're killer fishermen, man. You know, and I get that. That.
Everybody can't be Ike and Ellie and Swindle, you know, and James Watson. It's hard to have all those attributes all in one angler, you know.
Exactly.
Yeah. You know, Scott Butcher's in the house. He put up a comment. He says, I sound just as crappy now as when I started. All right.
I still like the show.
Yeah. He does okay.
Yeah.
He'll be all right.
Just okay.
Yeah. You know.
His energy's not the greatest, you know. He's just
5 Live. If you haven't seen it yet, I think it's got 1 million.
I don't think if you've never heard of 5 Live, if you haven't, then you don't fish.
Oh man. Well, I just saw he put up a video now. And Scott, if you're listening, man, kudos, man. It takes a man to admit his mistakes. And they had an issue with some of the voting. So if you guys haven't seen, instead of 6 in the final, it'll be 7. You know, Corey why am I drawing a blank?
He was second, right?
Tim Perkins and Craig Dye are going to be in there. So that's just a killer lineup, man. And what Scott's done with that 5 Live is just incredible.
Absolutely.
I mean, we kind of stole from him and Kayak Bass Bracket Tour to do our kind of thing. And it's cool, man. Scott's always stepping up the game and setting the bar for everybody else. So it's cool.
And I heard you say, Josh, on your last show that with AJ or with Craig, that how fast he did it.
Yeah.
Like doing it within a week. That's crazy. He's moving at light speed, you know?
Yeah. And it's too when you kind of have the knowledge, like of the resources there to help you. You know what I mean? The average guy coming off the road, off the street, is not going to really be able to. I'm not going to say shouldn't be able to really do it, you know, because he's not going to have the software and all that. Now, guys like, you know, him and he's with Chad Hoover, and they got the platform and they got the kind of the software and an understanding of how it all works.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I mean, still to do that in 6 days
is incredible, dude.
I couldn't do it. I can tell you that right now.
To throw the lineup, the sponsors, all that good stuff together. So, I mean, that's an interesting question, right? We're all in the same space. We've seen what MLF has done. Some of the live bass events. Now we're seeing this live tournament format in the kayak space. I mean, what are you guys' thoughts on that? Do you think, despite what's going on in the world, is this going to be the next step for competitive fishing? I mean, what's your guys' thoughts on that?
We've always talked about that. I think pretty much the platform's already there in the kayak world. You know, you're already measuring your fish and throwing them right back. So pretty much it's almost like the kayak people were doing it before Major League Fishing.
Yeah. Right.
You know, and all that stuff ever happened. So, I mean, I think it is the way it's going to go eventually.
And it's already live. So if you're following an event, that's just like if we fish the KBF for Virginia Kayak Bass Challenge Series, we fish a lot with Casey Reed. Our family's always watching the leaderboard. You know what I mean? So they're like, oh, man, you know, you might get a text. You need to catch a few more fish because such a I don't care. I didn't want to look at it. But you know, that was already a live aspect there because they're already getting the what's happening right now. Not unless you got people sandbagging. You know what I mean? Then all that changes. But
those sandbaggers, man. That happened to me this weekend.
You gotta love
sandbaggers. I was in 4th, and next thing I know, I'm in 8th. Like, what happened here? What happened here?
I'm a proud sandbagger. I don't like giving away motivation, especially I was doing the kayak bass bracket tour. I was going against people who I knew they were going to catch them. I don't need to give this guy any motivation to catch more. Like, I've got to catch up. Don't catch up to me. Like I put like a couple of small ones up. Like, you know, here's a couple of 13s. Just I'm not doing much.
Yeah. I just think the live stuff though. I don't think there'll always be that aspect of in-person event. You know, like it's always that feeling. Like we was talking to Craig last night, and there's still that excitement of being live at a live event. You know what I mean? And the camaraderie of the guys before, during, on the water, and at the end. So I don't think you'll ever get away with that. And like Scott said, he don't ever plan to, you know, try to take over the world with this thing. He's just trying to make a show, you know?
Sure.
So,
yeah, absolutely.
But I do see more people probably getting involved, you know? I mean, who's to say that MLF doesn't finally see this thing kicking and want to do something like that, you know?
Well, I think you touch on something right there too, is the camaraderie on the water. I mean, I remember watching that matchup with Jackson Orr and Dusty Yacker, and you know, those guys were trading blows, and then I forget his name. It came up from behind, and you had a 3-way shootout, and they were all cheering each other on, man. I mean, in a big bass boat tournament, I don't think you necessarily see that. I mean, they got a little bit more money on the line, but you know, and that's one thing that I think stands out in our little plastic boat community, so to speak, is, you know, just that camaraderie, cheering each other on, helping each other out, man. It's like a little tight-knit family, so to speak, which is pretty killer, man. Which is pretty killer.
I think it's interesting because whether it's a bracket tour or 5 Live, I mean, we're all tournament fishermen. That just the different strategy, the different, you know, pressure it puts you under, all these different things. It's different. It's something interesting and new, and you know, like all these different kind of tournaments are, you have to fish a different way. Like with these guys going from a 1-day, 2-hour deal, and now a two-day thing. I was listening on Scott's the weigh-in the other day or Westbrook Wednesday. He's got so many.
One of those shows, you know.
Yeah, I know. One of them awesome shows. But They were talking where the guys, I think it was Brad Case, was saying that he was going to go for, do you catch the first day you try catch 5, Tuesday you go for the upgrades, or if everybody's going to hammer them and second place doesn't matter, or are you just going for 5, 3, 2 one day and 3 the other? So I love the strategy and the different, way all that's changing with all these different formats.
Oh, for sure. Yeah,
Absolutely.
It's strategy to it. It's just kind of like when we did the bass boat tournaments, and you also have the kayak multiple day tournaments. Is actually putting strategy in it. Do you want to blow out your holes the first day? But then again, you could waste time and go somewhere else and not really catch anything, or you just waste a lot of time. So it's a lot of strategy, and it's a lot of really trusting your gut feeling, on it. So, I mean, on a 2-day event, I think I would just probably go all out on both days and
just burn them out.
Swing for the fences. Yeah.
And it's $2,000 they're fishing for or something like that.
No, it's 3 now.
Oh, it's 3.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
I'd be going for 5 bigs both days. I wouldn't mess with the limit.
No.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah.
Go big or go
First
home.
or last in this one.
Yeah.
Yep.
Real quick, Brock Howell, my man in the house, he says, how many inches do you guys think it's going to take to win it? I'll let you guys go first.
92.
92. Cody Milton only put up 91.
Yeah.
Only. I mean, in 2 hours, 91. Who does that in 2 hours?
It'll be 92 for sure.
Is that kid even human? Like, for real?
He's not human.
No.
I mean, but it's just amazing how passionate he is about that sport, though. Like, I mean, it's just,
dude,
it's just great. When you talk to him, he's always like super, super happy.
Yeah.
I don't think a dude's ever mad.
No. I've never seen Cody mad. He's always super focused on fishing, talking fishing. I mean, I've seen him on and off the water. I mean, I've seen him late at night that was at the Lacrosse Trail Championship. There was a house full of hammers. And, I mean, basically all the guys that are in 5 Live, the championship, were in this house. And, the whole time Cody's talking fishing, that's all he's focused on, man. And I think that's huge. I mean, that's interesting way to look at it. I mean, and I think that's why that kid has so much success on the water. He's just a fish catching machine, man. So.
Yeah. I mean, to answer that question, though, I think because if it's going to be a 2-day event, right?
So,
2-hour day.
2 hours each day.
Yeah.
I believe 100 inches will be broke. I mean, Cody Milton, all that. We talked to Greg last night. He's pretty confident on what he's about to have going on. So I feel in 2-day event.
Wow.
I know it's not a full day, but I think in a 2-day event, you're going to be. If it don't break it, it's gonna be right there at it.
Yeah, it'll be close, man.
Yeah,
it'll be close. I like it, man. So let's, enough of Scott Future 5 Live talk.
Talking about you, Scott.
Yeah. No, it's definitely cool what he's doing. I'm not going to take away from that. But one objective, man. So I mean, you guys are talking, to guys both in the kayaks and the big boat world. What is I mean, what are you guys looking forward to in the future and things like that?
I mean, podcast wise, I mean, I don't even know how much further we could say like where we want to be at, because now we're at that point we want to be. We're live. We finally got all our audio stuff straight. I mean, James, how long did it take us to get that? I mean,
it's much better now. Like sometimes I would, like back in the day, I'd listen and be like, "Oh man, come on!"
Yeah, and
now it's great. Now
we invested some money and got soundboard stuff, and we got I take time in editing stuff before it goes on our podcast. I don't just send it. There for a while, I was just sending it because it sounded good when we first listened to it, but then once it formats over and all that, just sounded like garbage. And now that we take the time, that's why it takes us a while. I don't, if you notice, we'll have a live show and it might take 2 or 3 days before the podcast is up because of business wise, what we do. And then just trying to get the show edited, get the sound right. But like say where we're at right now, I mean, we're pretty happy. I mean, like, I don't, James, I mean, do you see us going, what do you think wise where we should be at in the next couple of years? I say.
On the podcast side, I mean, like you said, I think we're pretty much there, I guess. I mean, we've had some of the biggest pros on. I mean, who do you get?
Yeah.
Else
How do you go
other
bigger than KVD and Swindle? I mean,
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So
reach the pinnacle.
I think we just need to be content where we're at, and then just keep growing other parts of the business.
Yeah.
At this point,
Yeah, that's kind of our main focus now. Is like you say, the show is where we're happy at. We're building our following on Facebook. We're getting better views on Facebook Live. I mean, granted, we'll take the videos and put them on YouTube, but you really don't get the views because people's already watching from Facebook. So, but we're kind of building that. I guess podcast social media wise, I would love to see us hit 30,000 followers by the end of this year. Would it happen? I don't know, but that's our goal.
I like it.
We built up quick to what are we at, 10,000 some now?
I think so. A little over 10,000.
At
That's
the end
killer.
of last year and this year, it built quick. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd love to be at 30,000. That's kind of our goal, number wise, of followers by the end of this year.
All right, real quick, guys. We're pause. We got a special guest, real quick.
Uh-oh. Oh, look at that.
What is going on, gentlemen?
We talked some smack, so he wanted to come defend himself.
No. I'm watching this go down on my phone, and all cards on the table. Utterly freaking jealous at these amazing talents, right, dude? You got Josh and James and Dan on the what? This is royalty right here in our podcasting community, bro. I mean, I've been dying to get a phone call, like low key. Been dying to get a phone call going. One day, one objective is going to call me, right? One day, they're going to be like, hey, we should get that loudmouth dude on the phone. You know what I mean? But they keep going to Swindle and KVD and Craig Dye.
I mean, why would they want to pass you up, dude? I don't get it.
I listened to you on the kayak bass and beers. That was good.
Bro, the thing is I figured this is the only opportunity I ever have. Brian, I love you, bro. And I was like, I'm never going to get an opportunity to speak with one objective on a podcast. So jump in now. You know what I mean?
He blew up my DMs instantly. He was like, hey, bro, can I have 1 minute?
I literally jumped in. I was like, James and Josh are on the show. I was like, I got to say hello, guys. I'm fans. How are y'all?
Man. So excited. Pretty good. How are you doing, man?
So excited right now. Look, I've ignored Craig Dye and Fletch Griffin in the last 5 minutes. What is going on here?
Fletch is your boss, man. Don't be ignoring him.
That's cute. I'm Fletch's boss. No, I'm totally not. Fletch is going to fire me now.
Yeah.
Hang on, I'm answering on speaker. Hey, Fletch, you're on speakerphone on podcast live with the One Objective and Paddle and Fin crew. What's up, buddy? Yeah, now's not the time for you guys. Oh, you're in a group. Yeah, now's not the time for y'all to be live.
Enjoy the show. I'll talk to you another time.
I'll call you a little while, boss.
See you, Fletch. Oh, man.
No, you guys were talking 5 Live, and I feel like, again, no smoke up your butts. Like, I watch almost everything all of you guys do.
I do, too.
And for you guys to even be having a conversation about something that we're doing, it's just truly humbling, gentlemen. I mean, you guys are dudes that are doing this game or promoting this game in ways that I get excited about and inspired by. And not only that, but you guys all fish. I practice fishing. Like, I cast a lot, but you guys fish. You know what I'm saying? And so I quite honestly, I wanted to take my hat off, tell you guys thank you so much for the kind words and being supportive when you guys absolutely don't have to be. And it means a lot. How people act and what people talk about. When there's no cameras in front of them and no microphone, and when you're not around, speaks volumes about character. And you guys know as well as I do, there is a small group in this community that doesn't support almost anything.
Yeah.
And so to have people, this history representations of our community, the fishing community, it right here on the screen right now, and to see the support that you guys are showing what I'm doing. I just want you guys to know from my heart that, guys, it is not unnoticed and it is not undervalued, that I appreciate it so much, gentlemen.
Yeah, no worries, man. Like we touched at the beginning of this, man. You know, it's we're all in this together. Actually, I don't even know if we were live when we were talking about that, but you know, it's like we all support each other, and it's all for the common good of fishing, man. So any way we can help each other out and help grow this thing even more, I mean, let's do it. You know what I mean?
Man.
So,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So real talk. There's
wait a minute. So you mentioned in the comments that wait till there's even more money. So like you said, there's 4 guys in here that fish really well. Just saying, bro. Our phones are on. We're waiting for phone calls, bro. We can 5 live this up, bro.
I'll be an alternate, man.
I'll be an alternate.
If you need a last minute, hey Dan, I need somebody last minute. I'll be good. Come on now.
not only that, but you guys know how to carry on the conversation for the show part.
Yeah.
You know,
Exactly.
no offense, but
I'll have a matrix deal with cell phones all the way around.
Let me see the yak attack pose. You won't be able to catch.
Yeah.
I just got an email. I just got an email this morning, actually, with a quoted invoice for $84,000, which is the camera equipment that I want. Right, we budgeted and said we want this to go full bore. It was the dream list. We wanted to know what those numbers were, and then work backwards what we can afford for round 2, and then eventually for what we're calling phase 3, which will be next year. But that's $84,000 for the equipment is what I'm looking at right now, and I've got some folks that are behind me. A gentleman that works hard in our community already that called me and said, "Hey, I want in. How do we partner? What does it cost? What do we do?" And again, you know, just totally punched me in the chest and took the air out of my sails. And so we're moving forward. You know, the last 48 hours for me has been sour grapes because I feel like I failed and I feel like I let folks down. And I call, you know, a lot of confusion between 2 individuals that I care a ton about in Craig Dye and Tim Perkins. And at the end of the day, I was wrong, and it was 100% on me. And figuring out how to get past it and whether or not I'm even going to be able to retain. Will I ever be respected again after a fail like this? How will anglers take this? How do like I failed, and so I'm not good with that. I'm good with failure, but I'm not good with failing other people. I'll fail all day long. I'm married. I'm used to it, but I don't like failing other guys. And at the end of the day, with what we did here, 25 of the best names in our sport trusted me when I called them and I said, "Hey, if you'll loan me your image and everything that you've worked for to build something," right? I mean, that's what it was. I mean, nobody knew what we were doing. And these guys straight up said, "I'm in." Some of them called me, and I value that, man. And I for the last 48 hours since Saturday night when we hung up the live, I have been, I failed.
Well,
and we had to make it right.
You're transparent. You fixed it. You admitted it. That's all you can do, man.
You manned up doing the right thing.
Yeah, it's like James said, you manned up, you did the right thing. That's business.
Yeah.
It sucks on that end. We've done it before, just with what we do on our other side. You know what I mean? With the business, with our motor stuff and all that. I mean, you just kind of fess up and sorry. That's all you can do in this industry is say sorry and prepare to make it right and just sweep it under the rug and keep on trucking. Because if not, you will let this industry drag
you up.
It will eat you up if you let it. And I almost did.
We're all human.
Yeah.
We all fall short of the glory. I mean, you ain't never going to be perfect, man.
Nope.
Well, I don't expect to be perfect, but I don't. There's no way to say that without it. I don't ever wish to fail anyone who puts their trust of their name. All of these companies and all of these last names are people have worked for that. There's pride in that. I'm a Marine and a fireman. Like I understand, like that last name and that company. We used to say in the fire department all the time that the name on your helmet represents who raised you. And the name on your jacket represents the department that you work for. And that's what these guys have all done. All 25 of these anglers that have stepped in have allowed me to use their company and their name to build a platform. But I'm not, but it's my promise to them was it wasn't going to be about me. And then I go in and butcher it. And I hope that I'm able to come out on the other end. We're definitely going to do the best we can, but I want it to stay on the anglers. And at the end of the day, Craig Dye and Tim Perkins, I mean, them boys went to war this week, marketing promotion wise, and I still stand by that. We talked about that. I talked about that earlier. You guys were joking and laughing about, not knowing what 5 Live is, but in our community, everybody knows what it is because of the way that we market it, right?
Yeah, absolutely, man.
That's right.
Yeah.
Keep up the good work, man.
Yeah.
Keep it up,
brother.
Well, I want to know. I didn't get to hear what the end of that was because I was jumping in here. But what's next for One Objective? James, Josh, man, you guys are killing this.
They've got all these new products with the Titan, and I want to hear about that. What am I going to be able to put on my Titan?
Yeah. Well, I mean, right now it's top secret, with the Titan stuff. We got some stuff in the works. James is the grinder when it comes to designing. I mean, I give James every bit of the attention when it comes to designing.
He's clearly the brains here. I mean, look at you two.
Yeah, look at me. I mean, look at him. He's clearly the brain.
Look at me. Just look at me.
I'm just the guy behind the computer that puts it on a website, tries to market it. And it's always funny because, when all this started going down, we started making motor mounts and the comments we got, man, it was there for a while. I was like, dude, we're going to yank this stuff off the site. I don't even want to listen to this crap no more, of the grief that we fought. And it was bad. And, but the people stood behind us. People have been running it, and it's been great. So, now, like I say, James is 100% behind it, man. When it comes to designing the products, we just shoot the video. I shoot the video with them, and I do the editing and market it. And James, he like I say, man, he's beast mode when it comes to designing and, making sure it looks just right.
I was up at the Westbrook shop on Saturday, and they had one of your mounts setting up with a power pole on the back of a new canoe and an 1103. And I mean, man, that's a big motor. Like that 1103 is a big beast.
Yeah, it's a beast.
And dude, and like it was rock solid. I mean, I'm not a new guy, but I'm definitely a Torpedo dude. But dude, I was utterly impressed. And me and Fletch were both talking about it, like it was the way that we installed, and it's not out yet, but the way that we installed the steering and everything, like I don't think we've seen that done yet. And Fletch he's like James, man. He's a mastermind. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And so like he just does things way out of the box. And he built this steering system on this thing, man. And I can't wait for I'm not even putting the guy's information out there publicly because it ain't my place. But I can't wait. He's going to drop a video, I think, and talk about it. But dude, what y'all did with that mount, I mean, it was rock solid, and that motor is a beast.
Yeah.
Well, tell Fletch we can get 100 units dropped at Westbrook by the end of next week, guys. Right?
Yeah.
So we'll send him an invoice.
James, right on that right now.
The 5% can come my direction.
I dig the one with the actuator, man. Y'all are doing that, right?
Yeah. James, I'll let you talk a little bit more about it. I don't want to take your glory on that.
I don't want to, Brian, man. I thank you so much. I'm going to step out because I don't know how to not, but I'm gonna see if my wife will allow us to give up social distancing. So I'm going upstairs. You know what I mean? Like,
good luck, brother. Good luck. Good luck.
Pray for me, guys. Pray for me at home.
We will.
James, I one day I hope to be on a show with you guys. Y'all come to my show because I'll never get an invite to yours.
You'll get an invite
with that.
I haven't even gotten an invite to your show, man. What's up with that?
What are you talking about? Brian, dude, I'm talking to the professionals over here, Brian. You pipe down.
Wow.
You have James and Josh in the house. You just need to pay some respect.
Oh, man. Wow. Bring you on my show.
So everyone that watches this knows this is Dan's show.
Yeah.
Dan's a co-host. He's just stepping in for this one.
There's a difference.
Damn.
Dan's the co-host. There's
I'm
a
just
difference.
getting burned left and right.
Without Dan, Brian, I don't know that you have a show. I'm just being honest.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Ooh,
Wow.
I mean,
Wow.
I'm losing
All right.
signal. My mic's breaking.
Yeah, go
out,
go get lucky. Bye, Scott. All right, there we go.
oh. I got hijacked.
Oh man.
All right, dude, tell me about, because I think for me, going with the like bass, all the clubs in Alabama, I'm a tournament guy. They've never allowed a motor. So for me, with Alabama, the Bass Nation starting, it's like now I feel like I have to put a motor on my boat. Tell me what you got. I want to know about the actuator one and everything else.
Yeah, we have actuated and a non-actuated one that work with the power pole. And then we have a lot of cheaper mounts that we came out with too, that you can just pretty much clamp your motor on the back of your boat.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it really all depends on what type of situation you want to get into. You know, if you like the actuated, you're going to be fishing a lot of shallow water. You want to actuate it up, get it out of the way. And it makes it a lot easier to pivot that way. You know, like you take a big heavy motor that's on the back and you got it all the way down, and you're trying to pull that thing up. I mean, I think that's probably the biggest struggle with 1103 right now that we've heard about, is just trying to get it up, you know. So I mean, that works pretty well, but I don't recommend using the actuated with the 1103 just because it's got this big fin on it. So you're really not going to get the advantages of the actuator out of that one.
Yeah. I mean,
if you're running a Minn Kota and all this stuff like that, it's pretty much up to you.
Yeah. Because I fish the river a lot. I mean, James fishes the river too, but like the James River up here, where it's really shallow, rocky, you can trim that thing up. I've gone back up rapids with that motor. I mean, you're blowing water, you know, but you're moving. You're getting back up the rapids.
That's crazy.
I did that when we went on a church trip with did a whole float day, and we had somebody get hung up. And everybody didn't pass, couldn't get turned around. And I whipped it around the trolling motor and went on back up. I just kept trimming it up. And it's like a bass boat with a jack plate. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Right.
Shallow water as you want. But like say, the actuators, they're really great on the Torpedo side, but like the 1103s, like he was saying, they got the fin. It's really, you're going to get maybe 3 inches of actuation out of it, if that.
I don't think you're going to get 3 inches out of it after looking at the one that I have at the shop now.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. So, I mean, if you still want to run a power pole,
you go non-actuated.
Yeah. Yeah. You're still in the same, you're still got the same setup for, say, that has like the regular Torpedo mount, but now you have the ability to put a power pole on there. Oh, we just lost James.
Yeah, we lost his signal. While we're waiting for him to come back in, Jack Fisher asked, what's the mount called? He just joined in the middle of the stream. So they can go to oneobjective.com, right, to see all your guys' products?
Yep, it's oneobjectivebf.com.
Okay.
And then if you're on the phone, we get this question all the time. Where's all your mounts at? If you're on the phone, it's the 3 bars in the top right or top left corner, whichever side it's on. Click on that and you have a drop box and you go to the store. And I finally was able to clean it up and make it look good to where people can find stuff, you know? So we put a lot of time in the website here in the last 2 weeks. So now that people can go in there and find all of our mounts, all of our accessories, all that stuff. So yeah, oneobjectivebf.com.
What all do y'all have besides mounts too?
We go from accessory plates to motor caps. You know, if you cut your motor off, you shorten it. We got a cap that goes on there. We make that. So pretty much any mount you want for a bona fide system right now, because that's where we started at. So
yeah,
we got every mount out there pretty much for any bona fide that you have, all the way down to the R, except for EX, which I mean that's not really a boat.
Yeah.
Motor on. So, but now we're kind of So now we're kind of venturing on into the we got one universal mount. So like people that have the 4-bolt pattern, like the Jacksons in the back, we got an adapter plate that goes with that, and you can put the adapter plate on, and then that ain't on the site yet, but we're soon to have that on there, and you can run on a Jackson. The natives, you can pretty much run our mount on the natives, because it has the 4-bolt hole system in the back, so you just buy the regular one objective mount and non-actuated or actuated, whichever motor you prefer, and it'll bolt right up to the back of the native.
So, like, with all these parts and components that you guys are making, those came after the start of the podcast, correct?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, what are you guys sitting around having a couple drinks one night, and you're like, "Hey, let's just make some cool stuff," or what? I mean, how did that all come about?
I just wanted something for my boat.
Yeah.
And then when I built it, everybody was kind of like, well, Josh was like, well, I want one. So I built him one. He's got the Gen 1 still. He's still running Gen 1.
Yeah, I'm still running Gen 1 right now. We're always down to like Gen 4 or 5.
yeah. I run the latest and greatest. He gets, the scraps.
He gets all the leftovers.
Yeah. We can get scrap part, put it on my boat.
Oh, that's funny, man.
Y'all putting out some cool stuff, man. Like that, because I had a bona fide too, and that tackle tray underneath it. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I know y'all have had like the hull protectors. It's really innovative. It's it's like one of those things where necessity is the mother of invention, and y'all needed something for your boat and you built it, and now you have a company along with your podcast. It's that's cool. It's cool to see.
Well, when it comes to go ahead, James. I'm sorry.
No, you go ahead.
When it come down to we were doing the podcast for fun, and then you start getting sponsor dollars, or you start getting some money here and there. You want to start and invest. You get a little bit of money from YouTube stuff, so you start putting that into your sound stuff. And so we got to a point where national championship was coming up, and that's when we actually did a 3-mile paddle up a river where me and him played first and second. I mean, it's 3 miles up some current.
Wow. Yeah.
And we won, first and second, shall we say. And I told him, I said, we are not going to do that again. We're putting a order on the back.
Yeah, you won, but your body lost.
Yeah. Had 3 heart attacks on the way up.
So that's when
we were like, we're going to make it all the way. About 2 miles in, we were like, no, we're going to stop. I think we'll fish right here.
Yeah. So, national championship was coming up for Louisiana, and he started putting some stuff. That's where we tested it out. Really. That was like the debut
down in Shreveport.
Yeah. And it did great. We come back, fixed a couple things with it that we wanted to fix. And I did a setup video, and then James did a setup video, and it was booming then. It took off.
So are you guys making all this stuff yourself, CNC mills and things like that?
Yeah. Yep. James.
Yeah. Part of my finger missing. The one part of it.
You lost part of a finger?
Yeah.
Yeah, my tip. I can't really see.
Just the tip?
Just the tip.
Yeah,
and I work in the trades.
Nothing but tip here.
I see fingerless carpenters like on a daily basis. It's pretty humorous.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's
tip.
Then I got
much.
to drawing on. Yeah.
I got
a
broken forever from the oil and gas industry. Got me.
Yeah.
Very cool, man.
But yeah,
you guys got some new products dropping soon. You're not giving away everything quite yet, but it sounds like you're working on some stuff for the native and some other things in the works. Time range, when could we maybe see some of that stuff?
We shot all their videos last week for a lot of it. There's a few things I still wanted to work on before we released it, but I think I'm just going to release it this week. A lot of it's going to be released this week.
Okay.
We're going to be releasing some stuff. It's going to help solve some issues with some steering issues, so kind of excited about that. We did the install video on it to test it all out and see how well it installed, and we was surprised at how easy it went, so I have that video coming out soon.
Steering issues for the native?
No, not for the native. More for like boats that's not really rigged for steering, so we're gonna be doing some things like that. So but we've worked with Yak Attack on a lot of stuff. So some of our products we integrate Yak Attack stuff,
Sure.
So people's always asked us, are y'all going to be competing with Yak Attack? Are y'all competing with Yak Attack?
That's the question I had too. Yeah.
And no, I mean, we had a good discussion with Luther the other week, because it was some stuff we was going through, and Luther's been in the business for a long time. He knows the industry, and I was texting him, and he finally called me, and he's like, I hate texting, let's talk. And he's like, so what is y'all's plans? oh man, we lost him again. What is y'all's plans for one objective? I guess he was concerned at first, like I said, no, absolutely not. We will never compete against Yak Attack.
Sure.
Anything we'll do, we'll work with Yak Attack on, like we got some products that we might be working with Yak Attack on anyways to help us out with getting them put out, with mold and stuff like that.
Well, I mean, Luther's got a very similar story to you guys. You started making some stuff for your kayaks and people started noticing it. I mean, for those that don't know the story behind Yak Attack, I mean, Luther and a friend of his were going out fishing the Gulf or the surf or I don't know, somewhere saltwater, late night, early morning, and they, made the first Visi Carbon Pro, and it just kind of spiraled off of that. I mean, that's kind of the same situation you guys are in, man.
Yeah.
So it's cool. It's cool to see that, tradition kind of carry on.
Exactly. And, we've looked up to Luther because of that. We started out in the basement of his house, making this stuff. And it's the same thing. We started out in the garage of James's house because he already had routers and all that. And we started selling these mounts and had to get faster. So we bought a small little, CNC, started cutting some parts, but it still wasn't at what level we needed to be cut. And then to pick up, production time, we was like, well, we need to invest our money, so we wouldn't get paid nothing. We weren't paying ourselves absolutely nothing out of it, just investing 100% back in the business. And just kind of, that's what we did. And we started investing money, buying more tooling so we could pick up our production time. And James, I mean, he took the reins on that. He learned all of the programming, the drawing it, I mean, now if he comes up with an idea, he can draw it one night and have it printed out the next day, and we're building it. And then we go out and test it for, week 2. Depends on the product. Sometimes we test it longer than that. And we can have it out, pretty quickly.
Wow.
I like it. James, we lost you, man. Glad to have you back.
Yeah.
Don't worry. Don't go back and listen to.
That is no good.
I'm just telling you, man. Don't go back and listen to all the bad things that Josh just said about you.
Yeah.
All right. Just trust me, bro. You don't want to hear it.
He knows how I talk about him anyway.
Oh, he talks crap about me all the time.
I'm just joking, man.
Yeah, you have the direct line with Luther. You have to tell him to make
I don't even pay him any mind anymore.
a rod holder with 2 rod holders. That's what I want. 1 base, 2 rod holders. Luther, are you listening? Can you make that for me? Come on.
I mean, it's some stuff that's out there right now. What was that one guy? Oh man, his name I talked to him a couple times, and I can't think of his name now. But he was making a rod holder that had
Brad Chase.
Was that who it was? Mike Chase or Brad Chase or Case? That's what it was. Case.
Brad Case.
Yeah, he had the one with the full
Brad
rod
Case. Yep.
that you could spin. So I mean,
Yeah.
it was pretty neat. I don't know how it worked for the conditions and stuff I fish. I don't know. I've never tried it. Looks pretty cool, but. I don't know, man. We talked to Luther. I've talked to him about. I've talked to John Hipster a lot too. Hey, man, think about this because it's in their realm. It's not in our realm, and I'd like to see them make something that's a good product as well. So I'll kind of shoot ideas out there to them, and James will. But who knows? They might not ever come out, and they might blow it off. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, just make sure you're getting your royalties, man. That's all I can say.
Yeah, that's right.
Sorry, Luther and John. No, but I mean that's the cool thing, right? I mean, you guys are kind of doing your own thing, but you're still bouncing ideas back and forth off of, I would say, one of the leading companies in our sport for accessories for kayaks. And I mean, obviously, Luther's got his hand in big adventures as well, but I mean, it's cool that you guys can bounce ideas off each other and not feel threatened by each other, so to speak.
Yeah.
I think that further shows that community aspect that we have in the kayak fishing world, which is very cool, man.
It's great. I always say you got, and me and James see it all the time. You got your diehard guys that are brand oriented.
Yeah.
And then you got, and nothing else is better than that brand, and everything you own other than that is garbage, And if these companies would kind of say, you know, there's always room for competition. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely.
And it makes each company better when it comes
100%. 100%. I mean, if there was no competition, how would you build yourself up to the next level? I think, most people would get comfortable at where they're at and never progress.
Yeah.
I mean, it's great to see that competition for sure. I mean, obviously you guys aren't the only ones making mounts.
Yeah.
But the only mounts you guys should buy, just saying. But it's
and Yak Gadget. Just saying.
Yeah, well, that too. I'll probably get in trouble for that, but it's cool to see that, man. I mean, like you said, it kind of goes back to what we were talking about in regards to podcasts. Some people may not relate to the way I look at things, like they relate to Josh or James or Dan, and it's the same way with products. It's no one product is inferior. It's all what's going to suit your needs, man. And I think some of the stuff you guys are making is pretty awesome. I mean, I think you guys are stepping it up to the next level. I know I've scrolled through there a few times just looking at all the different options you guys got, and it's cool, man. And not only that, you guys are selling Yak Attack products along with that stuff as well.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like the two go hand in hand together. So that's definitely nice to see.
Yeah, and it's really stepped up in the last I don't know what, James, the last I'm gonna say since the beginning of this year, since we really started selling a lot of Yak Attack stuff, right? I mean, we've really started going through some Yak Attack product. Got you, James?
Yeah, I can y'all in and out so fast.
But and it, we walked probably every week now, or every other week we're going by Yak Attack picking up another order, and we've got such great customers and repeat customers. And you go in there and Luther's looking, he's like, man, y'all in here again to pick up more products? And I'm like, yeah. So I mean, it's been great being able to have. It's okay to have like your products you make on your site, but you also kind of got to be in this industry. You're not going to make it as a career business if you don't get into expanding into other companies. You know what I mean? So, and that's something else too. Like we was talking about brand oriented. These people are so brand oriented and cutthroat now. And you got to be careful on the toes you step on in this industry, because it goes a long ways if you step on the wrong toes. You know what I mean? And you don't
doubt
people. So
yeah, no doubt.
All
I
right,
agree, man.
We have to get back to the podcast here, because y'all have talked to so many cool people. I have to know who's your favorite that you've had on, because I'm a bass nerd, like
nerd,
FLW, man. That's my. I came from the boat. That's my jam. Who's been your favorite that you've had on?
Well, we probably know, and I don't know if James can, because I know he's having some issues service wise, but I know for me it's Gerald Swindle for one. I don't know how it was.
Man.
Yeah.
I would say that too.
Yeah, that was probably by far one of the best interviews we've had. I'm going to say another one was Aaron Martin's.
Okay.
That show is, that's probably our number one show right now. I don't know how many, several thousands of listens that show has gotten when it comes to just lying. I mean, this dude went on for an hour of just lying, and it was so in depth. But that's in the bass boat side of things, when it comes to the kayaking side, I got three guys.
And bless Aaron Martins and his family for everything they're going through. He's about to start up cancer treatments. They removed the tumor, and been thinking about them a lot.
Yeah, definitely keep the family in your prayers, because it's I get on the show and I try to talk more about it, but you're trying to get the show going and you just kind of you forget to talk about it. But yeah, big time prayers for Aaron Martins and his family, and Shaw Grigsby's in him the same way. I mean, some cancer issues. So but yeah, I mean, and then when you get into kayaking side of things, Cody Milton, he's always we've had him on a show a couple of times. I got two good friends, Casey Reed and Jason Hensley. It's good to have him on the show.
Yeah.
But and Jason Hensley is one heck of a fisherman in this area. I don't think he gets the credit like he should. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's a heck of a stick, and like I say, Casey is too. But if it come down to a tournament and I had to do a 5 live against him, you know what I mean? Like, I would love to fish against him in a 5 live event, but I know that I'm going to have to fish my butt off to be able to compete against them guys.
Well, what I think is interesting, because you guys are talking to so many different anglers from all around the country, getting different aspects. I mean, how much do you think that attributes to your guys' success on the water?
Oh, we've learned.
I think tons.
Yeah.
I mean, go ahead, James.
I just think it's tons of information that you get. If you can use any of it, just a little bit of it that you can soak in while you got them on the show, helps a ton.
I couldn't agree more, man. I mean, I attribute a lot of my success from all the numerous podcasts that I've done and different people I've talked to and things like that, man. I think when you're constantly talking to like-minded people and like you said, even if you can grab just a little bit from each conversation and slowly store that up somewhere up there around the cobwebs, it definitely works out, and you end up putting something together while you're out there on the water, man, which is definitely cool to see.
Well, everybody fishes so different, like we had Craig Dye on last night. He's talking about shallow cranking, and how his setup is, and then you got, let's say, Aaron Martins, you got Gerald Swindle, Kevin Van Dam, and then you go into all the other guys that kayak fish, and their setups and how different they are, but certain things they do. But if you go back and you listen to all the shows, a lot of them are all similar.
Yeah.
They're not got a bunch of tackle. They're not got a bunch of different techniques they do. They're very simple. You know what I mean? And some guys like Casey Reed, for instance, he throws a shaky head all the time.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's all too bait.
I mean, Josh Stewart, same way. Wacky rig Simcoe, man.
Yeah.
I mean,
they ain't gonna do good.
Yeah. That's my favorite story. Josh Stewart up at La Crosse. I think he took second up there, first in the pro. And I was like, oh man, what color Senko were you throwing? He looks at me and he goes, bro, there's only 2 colors, green pumpkin, black and blue. And turned around and walked away. I was like, all right, got my answer. Love it. But I think you're right, man. I mean, I think a lot of guys find comfort in, a small range of baits, and they'll just throw it till the sun comes up, and, they end up whacking them and stacking them.
Yeah.
What's a great tip that you've got from your show from either a kayak angler or a pro that you'd like share with everybody?
Like I say, one was Aaron Martins when it comes to line, and how important it is to go into line, in depth on line stuff, and just how important it is. People don't understand the importance to different lines, and when it comes to mono, when it comes to fluorocarbon, when it comes to braid, when to use them, when not to use them, when to use a leader, all that kind of stuff. That was probably one of the big ones. But for me, was the biggest one was we had John Cruz on, and was talking about whopper ploppers and how I was fishing. I fished a lot in the river. A lot of people fish them in the river a lot. And I kept missing fish. And I mean, I even went to Mustad triple grips, and the hookup ratio got better. But he said, go down to a smaller hook. And I did that. And I mean, you're still going to lose a smallmouth. I don't care what you change up. But my hookup ratio got better, So that show with John Cruz was big when it comes to hook size on baits with treble hooks,
I never even thought about that hookup ratio with a smaller hook. So something I'll have to mess with too. How about you, James?
Mine was just the more I've listened to multiple people, it's just retying often.
Yeah,
like all the time. Like if you look at the pros, they're always down in their boat retying. So that would be my biggest thing. I haven't. Since I started doing that, I broke off very few fish because you just feel your line all the time. If you're flipping, whatever, run your hands down the line every time you go to flip. Just don't grab your bait. Run your hand down your line.
Yeah,
it makes a huge difference.
Well, you all have pickerel up north by you guys too, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
And
we got Northern Pike, man. I mean, that was the big thing this past weekend for me. I kept catching so many damn pike. I had to retie. If not, I was losing jackhammer after jackhammer after jackhammer. That's not a cheap day on the water.
Well, yeah, y'all have
No.
snakehead up there too, huh?
What's that?
Y'all have snakehead in Virginia, or is that
They're yeah, we have both in.
both? Yeah.
Yeah, we got bowfin and Northern Pike out here where I'm at.
Yeah.
Yeah, muskie. If you fish the river a lot in the area that I'm in, which is the Upper James River, there's a lot of muskie. So you'll get a lot of follows. James caught that tournament. We paddled way up the river. James caught one with 40 some inches long.
Nice.
When we were fishing that tournament. So
on the top water.
Yeah. It's and then I went up there, I think 2 weeks later and caught one about the same size, I mean, in skinny water. I mean, it's, if you can see, it's like that, just bring it across the top. Ooh, hit it. So,
yep.
You always got to throw braid, in which, muskie can still, their teeth the way they are, they can still slice braid like it's nothing, but
yeah,
the ratio with them.
No doubt, man. So, I mean, I see a big fancy check over there behind James. Josh, you slacking? What's going on,
Hey,
man?
you don't have a check back there. Where's your check, man?
Yeah, I know. Well, I don't hang the little ones up on the wall. Them $30. He's got the big one, so he hung out. A lot of mine were like $35 checks, So.
Oh, it's too good, man. Too good.
Yeah.
So, I mean, any sneak peeks on upcoming guests for you guys?
Ours is week by week, man. Sometimes it might be 2 days before finding out who's going to be on. I don't know. I don't know who's going to be on this next show. If we'll have one this weekend or not. We got a lot going on with the expansion of One Objective and what's about to happen here in probably, I don't know, 2 weeks.
Okay.
We got some big things that's about to happen in James's area where our main business is at. So, that's why our show, we don't ever try to schedule a show. I love to do what you guys do and talk, go online. I do a live show every day, but it's
we don't make stuff. And we have 11 people, so it's easy.
You need to compile a small army.
Yeah.
Give them all microphones, and there you go, man.
Yeah.
So, I mean, well, that's an interesting concept. So you guys don't have like a set scheduled date where you're going live for sure.
No, we don't ever have a live date. We don't ever have a script. You know what I mean? Like when you see our show, it is what it is. It's no, I might have, if it's going to be something real big that's coming up, I might have a sheet there with a couple bullet points of, I need to talk about this. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I just got random things here. Like this is in show notes. This is actually our prize list for our noobs tournament. So I just hold the pen to look professional, bro. I'm just,
that's what I do.
I'm giving you my insider tricks. See? See?
Mine's got an eraser.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll jot down notes so I don't have to cut somebody off, and I'm squirrel, so I can remember and go back to it. But I like it, man. It's cool. It was the same thing. Me and Dan, it was like, well, what do you want to talk to these guys about? And we kind of threw a couple topics out there and, just ran with it. So that's how we usually run our show too. I mean, the natural conversation is what I think is the most engaging for sure.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
And, you'll get some of the pros on, some of the elites, some of the MLF guys that I can ask a question and it's, yep, nope. Like, God dang, I'm running out of answers here.
Those are the rough ones, man. Those are the rough ones.
Yeah.
So, I mean, a lot, and I will say when it comes to bass and MLF and all, most of the pros are pretty good about it.
Yeah.
What I really like is when you get the kayak guys on and they are so eager to represent their brand, build their brand. They want to get on there and they want to talk. Every once in a while, you guys are kind of shy, but I get that. They're not used to that stuff. But like I think on the major league side of things, the pro side of things, those guys already got their brand built. They're just kind of coming on to help promote it a little bit and help us out, or help podcast out. But I will say on the kayaking side, a lot of those guys are so eager to get on there and talk. They want to build their brand. They love kayak fishing so much. They want to talk about it. And it's so much easier when you have those guys on,
For sure. For sure.
That's great advice for anybody listening that's ever going to be on a podcast. Try not just say, yeah. No.
Yeah. Exactly. Talk.
Okay.
Have a drink before if you need to. It's okay.
Yeah.
That's funny. I did a podcast, and I'm not trying to call him out, Dave Brook. Good friend. Did a podcast with him. He was doing a charity tournament, and he's like, we ended up finishing. He's like, bro, I was so nervous. I think I've drank a fifth of Jack. And I was like, what? He's like, yeah, you couldn't tell, right? I wasn't slurring my words. I was like, no, you sounded just normal. And he was like, oh, okay, good. But I mean, some people get afraid of, public speaking, things like that. And it was an uncomfortable situation. And then, by the end of it, they're like, man, that wasn't as bad as I thought it was. We should do that again, and that's kind of cool to see people come out of their shell on your show and, just kick back, relax, and talk fishing like a couple dudes sitting around the campfire, like we always say.
Yeah, so. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And we were the same way. I mean, we were shy. We didn't like to, even in school, you got a public speaking project you got to do. I hated talk. I tried to miss school that day, so I didn't have to go do it,
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I hated it, and I hated getting in front of people talking. But now, like, we've been doing this for a while, it's kind of
second nature.
Yeah, you just get on there and have a good time and shoot the bull. And so yeah, I mean, we've loved it. It's been fun. We've got to meet a lot of people, got to talk to a lot of different people in this world. And I don't know. It's crazy when you go back and you look at your analytics.
Yeah.
How far you're reaching out, you know?
Right.
I don't know if all those numbers are correct, but when you start reading stuff from like you see in Australia, Africa, all that stuff. I don't know if it's robots. I don't know if it's people listening, but I mean,
yeah, it's cool. Even if you got one listen in like Taiwan, you're like, another country off the list. All right, moving up, but I mean, that's crazy, when you think about it with today's day and technology and the advancements of it, man. I mean, people around the world can virtually tune in and listen. I think we've had a listen on every continent except Antarctica. What's up, Antarctica people?
Yeah, what's wrong with them?
You ain't kayak fishing down there for penguins or something?
Yeah.
Come on now.
Losers.
Yeah. but
I mean, real quick, I wanted to kind of flip it on you guys real quick. And, the question's been asked for us is, where do you guys see yourselves in, let's say, 5 years? Where do you guys want your show to be at?
I mean, you'll have to have us on One Objective to find out.
And we will. We most definitely will.
I mean, Dan, do you have an answer for that?
You're the boss. You're the captain of the ship. I just show up and get on this microphone and say a few words. You're the one running the show here, boss.
Oh, Captain, my captain.
Yeah, there you go. Get up on the table.
It's interesting. I've been asked that question several times, especially a lot recently. And we have some ideas, nothing set in stone. Obviously, we want to keep producing content. I mean, our specialty, and we talked about that before, like our specialty is obviously kayak fishing. And we're slowly trying to expand out of that a little bit. But where we're going to go, I'm not 100% sure. I mean, we just want to keep growing and producing as much content in as many different fashions as possible, and keep reaching all aspects of anglers. I mean, we have everything from the Bass Fishing for Noobs show all the way up to the show that Dan does with tournament recaps and things like that. We got product review segments. We got Susie Roloff, talking to women across the board. And a lot of men, listen to that show and they learn a lot from those ladies. And, we got Ricketts been on a kick talking about kayak fishing for catfish. Dustin Nichols down in Texas, he's covering the saltwater side. So it's like, we just try to cover all aspects of the kayak fishing world. And I think the only thing we're really not touching on is the big boat side, you know, the bass boat side, which I can potentially see us getting into. And, you know, lately we've kind of referred to Paddle and Fin as a network. You know, obviously we got a network of folks, you know, producing all these shows. And, you know, we're like a big happy family, the Brady Bunch of kayak fishing over here to just continue pumping out content and stuff. So,
seeing our group chat, it's not always happy.
Yeah.
But you know,
it's hard to know because the sport's changing so much, right? Like,
and that's
I
mean, you know, I get asked that question all the time too. Like, do you think our sport has reached a peak? And I think absolutely not. I think it's still growing. And, you know, the biggest thing about kayak fishing, and when I got into it, it was for the average Joe. I mean, you look at the price of bass boats nowadays, and it's like, you might as well sell your house and live out of your Vexes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They price themselves out of the, you know, like a real tournament grade, you know, Ranger, Triton. They price themselves out of the everyday angler now.
Yeah, exactly.
Legend boats was the same way, and look where they're at.
Yeah.
I mean, they were kind of I don't know. It's all iffy, kind of bought out kind of deal. I mean, they were getting into the $90,000-$100,000, which Triton has done it, but you don't see many of those boats out like that. And Ranger did it too, but they did a limited edition Ranger, you know.
Right.
But if you look at the kayak side, when it comes to the boats, they got to be careful because they're going to get the same way.
Yeah.
There's no one stopping it, and that is something that honestly worries me about the sport sometimes, is that we talk so much about grow the sport. I think growing the sport in a positive way isn't always the same as monetizing the sport and growing it money wise. Like those aren't the same thing. Like a perfect example of that is when bass boats on the tournament side, they went from a 150 to a 250.
Yeah.
What tournament guy said, I want a 250. I want to spend more gas. I want to go faster. I want a more expensive motor. In no way did that ever help the angler. It only helped the people who were selling them. So I think if we as a sport don't draw a line somewhere sometimes, or kind of be mindful of that growing it doesn't always mean making the most money out of it. That's something that really worries me about our sport.
Well, I mean, in that aspect, I will say you have seen some of these bigger boat companies, Jackson, Bonafide, Native, New Canoe, you know, Old Town. You've seen a ton of lower budget boats come out at the same time as the higher tiered boats. And then you still have everything in between. So at least they're staying true to that. Whereas, you know, I mean, right now, what's a base model Ranger? You know, I don't even want to know.
Yeah.
No.
The Nitro, 18-foot Nitro is like 45 probably.
Yeah. And that's not rigged out. That's just base, you know, so.
Then you got to spend $60,000 on a pickup truck to pull it.
Yeah.
Then you got to have a garage, the insurance, you know, that's the thing. With a kayak, it's just so much simpler. And I think a lot of people, I mean, you look at it, a lot of people are going to that simpler lifestyle. I mean, all around in general, worldwide, you know, it's that minimalist approach.
Well, I can have, you know, I came from the tournament bass boat world, and I can have the same thing and have a life and be able to keep food on the table without, you know, taking from my family for my hobby, you know.
Exactly.
I mean, I love sharing that story all the time. It was a real eye-opener for me last year. I went down to fish that FLW KBF Open on Nickajack, and the campground I stayed at, all the FLW pros were camped out there. And I mean, everybody except for Gary, shout out to Yamamoto, man, what a cool dude, had this big, nice, you know, RV, right? But it's Gary Yamamoto. He's selling millions of dollars worth of baits every year. All the other guys are, you know, bed-in truck campers, you know, eating macaroni and cheese, ramen noodles, you know, like just living at the bare essentials, you know, traveling that road. And I think a lot of times, you know, like as a kid, we thought, professional fishermen, man, these guys are making millions, living in mansions, rocking the nicest. No, not
There's
the
like
case.
5 of them.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
very
and that's just
skewed.
it, and I think, Scott has talked about that, Butcher, about, building these guys up and taking some of these guys that he's having on the 5 Live up to that next professional level. And I think when you look at like Iconelli, G-Man, Kevin Van Dam, I mean, some of those guys haven't won a tournament in a long time, but they're making a living off of fishing. And it's not because of their tournament results. And I think a lot of guys get blinded by that. They kind of have the vision blinders on, and they don't see that marketing aspect out on the outside of the tournament world. And that's where a lot of them miss out, or they're not taking advantage of those opportunities.
I think a lot of people on that 5 Live, at least, I think they all saw Dusty and they were like, oh, that's how you do it. That's that's
no
what
doubt,
we
man.
should be doing. Like, there's a lot of people did a great job. I'm not putting anybody down at all, but he was definitely, if any sponsor watched it, I think they all saw, wow.
Yeah, his level of professionalism.
Yeah. I mean, Craig, there's so many great ones, but Dusty seemed like just a little,
Yeah, he had that edge up, man, for sure. Yeah, for sure.
And that's kind of what I tell people, because they ask us, how come we're not fishing tournaments this year? And we did. We pulled out of tournaments the whole year. We're going to fish a Yak Attack tournament this weekend, but we pulled out of tournaments this year to focus more on building our brand of One Objective and all aspects we can do with marketing and selling products and growing One Objective to just not selling trolling motor mounts, but doing a whole lot more,
Yeah.
And it takes all of your attention to do it. That's why we ended up going full time with One Objective.
Duke in the house.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Yeah, you're fine, man. But that's why we ended up going full time One Objective, and James had a good job. I had a great job. We were living easy, shall I say?
Sure.
But it got to a point that we weren't going to be able to keep going at the pace that we were going with family, and our wives ended up probably divorcing us if we kept going like the way we were going. So
sure,
I'll be right there.
Yeah,
yeah. So
struggle's real.
Yeah,
that's why we put out a tournament fishing, because there was so much more money to be made on what we were doing instead of trying to chase a hobby that it's not even there yet. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Even if you're trying to chase it as being a professional bass boat fisherman, these guys sacrifice so much and make very little. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I mean, you can win a $50,000 national championship tournament, or come away with 100,000, 75,000, whatever. That might get you around for a year.
That's your fees for next year.
Yeah.
Right.
But you got your taxes, you got all that, you got all your expenses with it. So for us, it made more sense to pull out of the tournament side and just focus on the business
side
and just grow that brand. Now, next year, we should be in a good, comfortable position that now we can go out there and travel and fish. We got people now that we that are on our pro staff and we sponsor that fish some of these events. So it still got us in the tournament scene. You know what I mean? We're just not there promoting it like we would like to be. But, business wise, that's what people, we get a lot of questions about. How did we build to where we're at right now? We spent so much more time on building the name instead of trying to just be the best bass fisherman out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I totally agree with that, man. I mean, yeah, I struggled a lot with that, trying to juggle the two the end of last year. And, don't get me wrong, I'm still fishing some tournaments this year, but taking a little bit of a step back to, focus more on that brand building.
Yeah. And a guy told me, and this was on a professional level, that I believe it was Rick Clunn that told him. It was Rick Clunn or Gary Clunn, Rick Clunn or Gary Klein that told him that the man that can talk about fishing will make more money than the man that fishes.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
look at Bill Dance.
Yeah.
Perfect example.
Yeah, exactly. So, and that's why we do it. It ain't for the money, for no means. I keep talking about money, but it's nothing to do with the money. We're finally doing something we truly love.
Absolutely.
And I told James when we did this, I said, I ain't worried about being a millionaire. I just want to live comfortably off of something I do every day. We can go to work every day And when it's time to go home, I'm like, holy crap, we need more time. You know, when I was working my other job, I'm looking at my clock like, God dang, is it
Yeah.
out of here?
I got 3 more hours of this crap. Jesus.
How long can I hide in the bathroom?
Now you can't do it. You're like, oh, I cannot do that.
I'm working from home. That doesn't work
Yeah.
at the house right now.
I mean, you got to hide in the bathroom, but what good is it going to do you, bro?
Yeah.
Just saying.
But James sent me a text. Said sorry he couldn't make it back on his service. He's been struggling with service today. So
all good, man. All good. I mean,
Yeah,
we're at
on and at where if somebody's living under a rock, they've never been on One Objective, and they've never heard y'all, where can they check y'all out?
they can follow us out on Facebook, Instagram. We do a lot of stuff with either sharing other people's stuff or our pro staff guy stuff, and then also like I say, our newest products always are released on Facebook and One Objective at One Objective BF. So and also we always encourage people to hashtag it. You catch a big fish, you want to share it, hashtag it, man. So who did he say? I need to know what the fish is. I know a guy. but yeah, they can follow us there and then go on our YouTube channel. That's something we're trying to build right now. We're, I don't know, 3,000.
James has some great videos. I saw some where he's shortening the trolling motor. So made it easy. So if you bought that kit, it goes right along with it. Yeah.
So we got a few more of those videos that are going to come out. I've been editing all day today. I've been editing video and putting stuff up on our website. So like I said, we just got our new SS107 mount up on there. Our easy mount, what we call it's going to be easy mount line. Got that up there. So, but yeah, go check us out, oneobjectivebf.com, and it'll have all of our contact points where we're at: Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. They can see everything right there on our webpage. So
sweet. I love it, man. Well, Josh, thanks so much, man, for taking out the time tonight and sitting down to chat with us and all that good stuff. Sorry, Butcher jumped on. And
oh man, it's all right. We really do need to get him on. I need to get you guys on. It's like,
yeah, man.
Now is the time to do it. Like before, it was so many tournaments going on. You're trying to interview winners, you just couldn't work it in.
Yeah, it's hard to do that, man. It's hard to do that for sure when you got so much going on. But
yeah, and I'm going to hijack it here for a second before we go. This Friday, we're going to have a mega show on the Reel Down. We'll have Christine Fisher and Greg Blanchard. So,
oh yeah,
what? We're talking about sponsors and how to do it right, how to approach people. Just catching up with them, but also talking about what makes a good team member. If y'all have a pro team, what would make somebody good at being on team, or how you would leave a team if they suck, or things like that.
Yeah,
that'd
be a great show.
There's only one team I'm trying to get on. You know what I mean? But just saying,
you need to have the board hanging in the background. You know what I mean? You just need to have one.
Oh shit! I mean, I got the logo back there, bro.
Brian has
your head covers it up. You got to have it over there around like where your sound density stuff.
Brian has a bona fide tattoo. I'll get a catch tattoo.
It's a bona fide tattoo. God damn it!
Yes, he does. What does your tattoo say?
It says "kiss my ass." But yeah. Anyways, so continued bracket matchups this weekend. You're facing off against JP, right?
Yeah.
Sweet.
My Gunnersville bite is dead. I've been catching 90 inches out there every day, and it's gone. So.
Well, we got Saturday. We got Sam Jones facing off against Sean Lavery, and then we got Josh Eldridge facing off against that crazy goofy guy from the Dark Waters Fishing Podcast, Josh Smith.
Sergeant Mayhem.
Yeah, Sergeant Mayhem in his skivvies. And then Sunday we got Dan facing off against Jason, JP, and then Dustin Nichols against Brad Hicks.
Ooh.
I mean, Hicks has been on them smallmouth, bro.
He's been on 90+ inch smallmouth bags, so.
Wow,
that'll be one to tune in for sure.
Like
so
Ohio mega bags. So
yeah,
oh yeah,
sure.
All right. Well, thanks, Josh.
Wait a minute. Best comment of the night. If you're ready for the pro staff Speedo calendar, I'm in, bro. Just call me, dude. Hit me up, bro.
I'm in. I'll send you some pics tonight. I'll make a homemade Speedo.
Oh, yeah. Gotta be clear.
I mean, if you want catchboard sales to plummet, I mean, I'm all for the Speedo thing, bro. I'm just saying.
You know,
I mean, you've worked so hard, Duke. I just don't want to see
it'll
that happen to you.
A limited edition Dan banana hammock yellow.
Yeah.
I can see it. Marketing genius.
Yeah, there you go. That's what you tether it to your boat with.
I like it.
Screw never lost. I got a banana hammock, you know?
Oh, man.
Oh, too funny, man. Well, Josh, thanks again. Thanks everybody who tuned in, and looking forward to 5 Live this weekend. Our bracket tournament. That was the one thing I was going to say is our bracket. We don't want to overlap with Scott, so we're doing an evening thing. So tons of live fishing going on this weekend. And
May is safety month, right, Josh?
That's right. Make sure you wear your life vest, because it's I don't want to keep you going on the show because I can talk about it for a while, but just make sure you wear your life vest. Zip your life vest up, wear it properly. We've had a lot of people in this region that have gone missing.
Yeah.
We've got fast water, we got a lot of rain, wind. It doesn't take much. So it's a big thing for us to push. Wear your life vest. I've caught some slack, and it really pisses me off when I catch some crazy slack on our website or whatever for something we're pushing for safety,
Yeah. Right.
I mean, I'll take that heat all day.
Yeah, and I will, and I'll keep pushing it. And if I make you mad, sorry, you had to go on to somewhere else and don't follow our stuff no more. I hate to be like that, but it's important you come back to your family.
That's right.
Amen to that, man. I mean, that's why we push so much safety stuff, whether it be cold weather gear, PFD. I mean, you name it. That's the biggest thing, man. You got a family at home, people that love you, that you want to get back to.
Yep.
And just real quick, be ready. Duke says Catch is going to use a little TNA to market in 2020.
TNA.
He said, cheers, gentlemen. So, all right. Till next time, boys and girls, tight lines, smooth paddling. Peace.
Appreciate it.